Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Anovella, and I was wondering, have you thought of your gift list? Because it's nearly Christmas. Do you know what to buy for your friends and your family? I made a list for you, a list of 15 books that are original and well liked. But not many people know them, so you're pretty much sure that if you buy this book for that person, that they don't have it. So here we go. Suppose you have a friend or a family member who really likes their classics, like Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, Thomas Mann, John Steinbeck, those books. Well, I have an idea. Why not give them Hunger by Knut Hamsun? Knut Hamsun is a former Nobel Prize winner. He is a Scandinavian, and he wrote Hunger. It was one of his first novels, and it's about a young man who does everything to make his dream come true. He wants to become a writer, and he refuses to let his dream go. Even though he's so hungry, he wants to eat his own pencil. That's an amazing book to give to people who are ambitious in life or maybe don't really know what they want to do. It's a book that many authors have on their shelves. It's mostly one of their favorite books because it's so life-changing without being a self-help book. It is an amazing book. If you give this book, they will be surprised, and it's very unlikely that they have the book. And if they do, they will be impressed that you have found this book. That's all I can say. Then another book that is now just out and is slowly taking over the book world is Solenoid by Mircea Cartarescu. Why is it so special? Well, it is a very surrealist book. You can't even say what it's really about, but it is well written. It is phenomenal. You will never, never, never forget this book. So if you give this as a present or you buy it for yourself, you will be surprised and you will never forget this book. So it's a great, great gift. The translations are phenomenal, so you don't have to worry about that. It's really, really good. Another book that I really liked is Snow Dog Foot by Claudio Morandini. Snow Dog Foot is the story of an old man who lives in the mountains in northern Italy, and he lives there all by himself. During the summertime, he can go down to the village, but during the wintertime, he is all snowed in, and he only has his dog as a friend to talk to. And suddenly, they find a foot in the snow. And that's all I can say. It is very beautiful, well written, surprising, original and short. So if your friend or you or your family member loves to read but not too long, that's the ideal book. Then I also thought of this one, Cardinality. I hope you can see it. Is this clear? Cardinality is written by Lena Wolf. It is about an author who has received a budget to write a book, and she goes to an apartment that is rented for her in Barcelona, and so she can be there alone with her thoughts and her paper and her pen. And of course she needs to eat and everything, so she goes to a restaurant, and there she meets a guy, a very sweaty guy, who says, "Help me, my life is at stake. You can rescue me. Can I go with you to your apartment?" And she says yes. This is a very weird novel, but fun to read. It's with a nun that has lost a finger and who has a YouTube channel or something of the sorts. And it's about the media, and it is wonderful, wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Cardinality by Lena Wolf. And I love, love, love the cover. Do they like history, historical fiction? Then I thought of course, Joan. I've talked about this book several times already on my channel. I also did an interview with the author. I will put that down below. So this is Joan. It is the retelling of the life of Joan of Arc, and we start in her childhood up until the day she dies. And what is so wonderful about this novel is that she feels like a modern woman and a real woman and not a saint. And it is very, very well written. Her prose is beautiful. It is a fast read. It's really fast paced. So yeah, it's an amazing read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know even of people that went to Bonn to because of this book to visit the places where she has been. So it's an amazing book. It's really well done. It stays under the radar, and it's a shame. So yeah, I love it. I highly recommend it. A book that is also worth mentioning and has to be on this list is The Opposite of a Person by Lieke Marsman. Lieke Marsman is a Dutch author, and The Opposite of a Person is about a woman who is a biologist, but she's without a job, and she lives together with a girlfriend, and the girlfriend is a bit annoyed that she doesn't make her own money. Anyway, finally she finds a job. She is asked to go to Italy and do research there. They want to know the effect a dam has on the environment, and after that they want to demolish the dam and do again a second research of the disappearance of the dam and the effect on the environment. And that's about it. I can tell you, but it's funny. It is genre bending. It's a new genre, actually. There are some, there's even poetry in it, there's essays in it. It has an enormous plot, but you don't see it coming. It is phenomenal. It is the book one of the books of the year for me. I'm sorry, the garbage men are passing by. If you know that your person you want to give the book to is a thriller lover, and you're almost sure that they have bought already the last new Stephen King, well, why not buy a book written by Chris Whitaker, We Begin at the End. We Begin at the End is a phenomenal book with great character development, and it stays away of the typical detective that is tormented and has a dark past and is on nearly on his pension. None of that. This is the story about a little village, and there's a guy who was 30 years ago convicted for the murder of a young child, and the guy is coming back. And we follow the story of Duchess, who is a young child. She's 13. She takes care of her baby brother and her mom. And her mom is particularly unhappy because of the guy that's coming back. And Duchess feels that something is off. And she goes on a quest. She investigates what really happened 30 years ago. It is phenomenal. It's really well written, fast-paced, really good. And then if they like a really good horror story, then why not Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey? Just Like Home is the story of Vera. And Vera is estranged from her mother since over 10 years. And suddenly she receives a text message just saying, come home. And she knows it's serious. So reluctantly, she goes back home. Why? Because her father is a convicted serial killer and he did the killings in that place. And so she is afraid that the memories will haunt her and the house will haunt her. And that's all I can say. It's really fast-paced. It has twists you don't see coming. It is chilling. It is wonderful. It is great. What a great book. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. If you know that they've liked Shuggie Bain, for instance, or other books like that, why not choose for the new Douglas Stuart book, Young Mungo? Young Mungo is just as beautiful as Shuggie Bain, but I think it's even better written. So Mungo is a young boy who lives, I believe, in Dublin, I'm not sure, or Glasgow, and he falls in love with a Protestant boy. And during the Troubles, that's not a good idea. And his mom is, a bit of a drunk also, and she sends Mungo away with some friends to make a man out of him. And it all goes wrong. You would think it's the same book as Shuggie Bain, but it's not like that at all. It's just the same environment, but it's definitely not the same story. And it's beautiful. It's, again, written with a lot of love, but it's hard. It's hard as nails, but beautiful. I've said it before. I've said it many times. I've started this channel to promote this book. It is The Wall by Marlen Haushofer. It is written in the 60s and it made a huge impression on me. Finally, it is in print again, so you can find it easily, and I believe that you can buy it on Kindle really cheap. And the book itself is not expensive either. So what is it about? Well, it's about a woman who goes to visit her nephew and husband or wife. I don't know what the relationship is. It has been 10 years. And they live in a cabin in the woods somewhere in Austria. And she goes up, drives up to them, and she parks a car, she enters, and they say, we have to do some groceries, shopping, and you can make yourself comfortable. We'll be back soon. But they don't come back. And she goes looking for them. And suddenly, after walking a couple of miles, she sees that there's a wall around her, a glass wall. And when she looks through it, she sees that everything is frozen in time. Everything is dead. And the book is actually her diary of her survival. So she starts making notes, and there's still a cow left, and there's the dog and some cats and a chicken, and she quickly goes into survival mode because, when will she see people again? Will she see people again? Will she see her daughter again and her grandchildren? Are they still alive? So it is a very engrossing book. It's phenomenal. It is written with so much passion and with so much attention to necessary details. But it is, it's a wonderful book. It talks about nature, it talks about survival, it talks about the environment and our effect on the environment. It is great, absolutely great. So that was my fiction list, and I have 4 non-fiction books and 1 extra. So the book that I also find very interesting, and maybe you have a misogynist in the family, or you don't, or you have a feminist in the family, then I really recommend this book. It's by Janina Ramirez, Femina, A New History of the Middle Ages through the Women, written out of it. This is a phenomenal book about a couple of kings, female kings. Have you ever heard of that? I didn't. It's also about women that were married to kings and were actually the ones who had the power and who made the choices and everything. So really interesting. It is very, very engrossing to read. It talks also about the mystics, about other women that were known for their talent for business. It is really, really interesting, a must read. Then another book that I found really well written this year is Nazi Billionaires by David de Jong. David de Jong is a Dutch author, but he had originally written it in English because he was asked to. So Nazi Billionaires is about companies in Nazi Germany that became very, very wealthy during Nazi time. And it's not only Volkswagen, Porsche, Audi, Mercedes. It's a whole lot more. It's also Balzen and Dr. Utker, and it's really shocking to see how wealthy they became and how far they were willing to go to make a lot of money and profit. They didn't care if somebody died, yes or no, during work. They didn't care at all. Then another book that is ideal for people who love books is Papyrus. It is actually the history of a book from the ancient times till now. It's about the invention of books. It's written by Irene Vallejo, and it is really, really interesting. It talks about the different types of materials they were writing on at the beginning and now, and the history of the libraries, the history of the book itself, how it developed, and what evolution did it make. It's phenomenal. It's a very good read. You will learn a lot about books, about writing, about how the books are made. It's really engrossing, and it's the book every book lover must have. It is great. The last non-fiction book is a biography. It is by Antonio Scurati. It is M, Son of a Century. It is the fabulous biography of Mussolini, and it is a must-read for everybody who is interested in politics and who realizes that everything is happening again. I really wanted to add it to the list because it is so well written, it is eye-opening, it is unforgettable. This is the book that is a big warning sign for what's happening now. And read it, absolutely read it. It's the first part of a trilogy. The second part is already out in Italian and is now being translated. Read it. You must. I have another gift. So, if you have somebody in the family who is not a big reader but loves beautiful things, or you want to give a graphic novel that is utterly original, Beatrice by Joris Mertens. It is beautiful. It is without any words. So it's about a young woman Beatrice, who is always alone. Here she is, here. And at a certain point, she discovers a red bag in the train station. And she takes it. This is the train station. Look how beautiful it's done. So beautiful. The light is amazing. And she opens the book, and the book changes her life. She meets people and she dances. She discovers herself. It is beautiful. It is set in Paris. It's very Amélie Poulain-like. And you will love it. It's such a beautiful book to discover. Ideal if you don't like to read, or if you like beautiful things, or just a beautiful little story. That's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you like my list and enjoy your shopping. Bye-bye.